Welcome back, everyone. I hope you're doing well. Today we'll be reacting to Where's America? This is another Jay Foreman video. I'm excited. If you're new here, this is what we do. We learn. This is a fun video by probably my favorite YouTuber at this point for this channel. Jay Foreman basically makes these fun, entertaining, but informative videos about, different topics. Geography, of course, have fascination with England and London, so a lot of things around that. Today we'll be looking at America, so let's dive right in.
America.
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 Americas.
Americans.
Americanos.
American.
Americano.
A merry-go-round.
Amerigo Vespucci.
An Italian.
Welcome to Map Men.
We're the men.
And here's the map.
Here we go.
Men, map, men, map, men.
The United States of America is a 5-word country.
States, United, the, and of are all self-explanatory, but the America part makes a lot less sense than you might think.
As we all know, America was discovered by Christopher Columbus in 1492.
And discovered is the right word because there definitely weren't people living there already.
Yeah, but also the Vikings before him as well.
And it was definitely him who discovered it, not the Chinese in 1421 or the Vikings around the year 1000.
The Chinese in 1421? Huh? I didn't know about that, unless we're talking about like the Bering Strait, but no, that's okay. I just need to do my research. Let's back it up.
Ready.
And it was definitely him who discovered it, not the Chinese in 1421 or the Vikings around the year 1000. The China theory is heavily debated.
And it was
Yeah, I was about to say, I haven't really heard about that too much.
definitely the United States of America he discovered in 1492, not some Caribbean islands.
Good to be clear.
But although Columbus had reached a new world, he never reached the realization he'd reached it.
He'd set out in search of an alternative route to the spices of the East Indies and wrongly thought he'd found one.
And so he named the Caribbean islands the West Indies because he'd sailed west to find them. Which is weird because if he thought about it and he had actually gone around the world and hit the East Indies, he'd have hit them on the east side, so he probably should have called them the East Indies. So if he had been right, the West Indies would today be on the eastern side of the Indies, which is ridiculous.
No, that's a really interesting, succinct explanation.
But Columbus wasn't the only European who'd had a 15th century midlife crisis that involved buying a massive boat and sailing west until he'd come to terms with his own mortality.
Just 1 year after Columbus first reached the South American mainland, Italian explorer Amerigo Vespucci got there
Amerigo. Is it actually because of the Amerigo that we're called America?
second.
But the crucial difference between Vespucci and Chris, as people in the voyaging business referred to him, is Vespucci did know he'd reached a brand new continent, and word soon spread of an exciting new world.
My man went in public, dressed up, bought a bell, bought a scroll, pirate hat, a cape. That is hilarious, bro.
There's a brand new continent we knew nothing about until now, full of gold and spices and exciting new vegetables.
Matt Maker
I question if he's actually doing that, or is it at a green? Is there a green screen? I don't know. I think he's actually doing.
makers around the world set to work creating new and up-to-date world maps, each with their own dreadful renderings of the increasingly
Oh my god, we gotta pause on these. These are interesting.
set to work creating new and up-to-date world maps, each with their own.
Okay, not bad. Obviously, we don't know what Northwest. That's really crazy rendering. That's gotta be, because they got the coastlines pretty accurate on the left.
Their own dreadful
Oh, this looks like this is like some sort of fairy tale map. Look at Florida. You can kind of see it in the middle right there. Florida.
renderings of the increasingly but still not very discovered continent.
Oh my god.
One of these map makers was a German called Martin Waldseemüller, who in 1507 had all but finished his magnificent new world map.
Oh my god.
Except for one small detail: what to name the new continent everyone was talking about.
He very likely would have named it Columbia, after the widely agreed discoverer of the New World, Columbus. But Amerigo Vespucci had some very clever PR people who were falsifying
Okay, is Columbia named after Christopher Columbus? Am I just this ignorant?
documents and spreading lies about exactly when he'd reached the New World.
And these lies must have reached the ears of Martin Waldseemüller.
You're listening to the Vespucci Hour on Explorer FM. Amerigo, he got there first.
because he made the fateful decision to label the new continent America.
Latin for Amerigo.
Waldseemüller published his map complete with an unnecessarily long Latin title.
Complete map following of Ptolemy, the tradition, and of Amerigo Vespucci, of others, also the illustrations.
If you zoom into his map and look carefully, you can see the little word America in what we now call modern-day Brazil. It was the first time that made-up word had been used anywhere by anyone ever.
That's really cool.
Nobody knows why Martin named it after Amerigo's fairly common
So South America is the original America.
first name rather than the Vespucci part. It's a bit like if I discovered a continent and they named it Markland instead of the more enticing sounding Cooper World Jonesania.
One part of the New World that Martin clearly didn't give much thought to was this bit up here, which he drew super small and super inaccurate.
So it may surprise you to learn the inhabitants of this area were the people who, centuries later, cared the most about this map.
Fast forward 500 years to the 90s. Throughout the 90s, the United States tried desperately to get their hands on Waldseemüller's map.
Because it contained the first use of the word America, the US considered it to be their birth certificate, not minding that it had actually been given to a different baby since they had no qualms about swapping babies even though they were now grown adults.
At the time, Waldseemüller's map was sitting in a drawer in the private collection of Prince Johannes zu Waldburg-Wulfegg und Waldsee in Germany.
They wanted it so much they paid $10 million for
That's a lump sum right there.
it, making Waldseemüller's map by far the most expensive map in history.
In 2007, the map finally earned its wrongful place on display in the United States Library of Congress.
The wrongful place? Nah, that's a good spot.
How a library was able to raise $10 million, we can only guess.
So how come America got to name itself America? You'd think that writing the Latin word America on Latin America would mean America should describe Latin America. So why is non-Latin USA allowed its A at all?
Part of the reason is that they achieved independence before any of the other 34 American countries.
In 1776, the 13 colonies that had been known as British America used their rifles to shotgun the name the United States of America.
I mean, that's really, think about it. Until some etymology, is that right? Like, until the Civil War, each individual was more, they were, the revolution, and then at the same time, the unification of the states, that happened, but people, felt a little bit more loyal to their state versus anything else. I mean, of course, like 300 years ago, why do I really care about what's going on in New Hampshire? I'm in Georgia. And I mean, and I say we because I'm a United States citizen, but, we kind of had that thought in the back of our head until about the Civil War. And the Civil War, once we united again, the Union and the Confederacy, that's when people started thinking more about America as like the actual subject of that sentence, or that phrase right there, the United States of America. That was, America was now the subject matter after post-Civil War. Prior to the Civil War, it was really about your state. So it was like the United States was more the prominent thing here, and America was more about the location. So just wanted to point that out.
Over time, the long name The United States of America got shortened to just America, which is how the English-speaking world almost exclusively refers to the United States today.
And as you might expect, or if you're an American, as you might never have given any thought to, this annoys a lot of people.
Whom does it annoy?
First, Latin America. In the Spanish-speaking world, the word America on its own always refers to the entire continent, and never the country,
And we had another conversation about this. Like, this is a continent right here.
which they call
Los Estados Unidos.
They even set up a petition demanding Los Estados stop stealing their name and get a new one right now.
That's true. Like, if you study Spanish, Los Estados Unidos is the United States, and they don't say America. That's 100% true.
With 308 signatures, it's surely only a matter of time before America
Bruh.
concedes.
Second, Canada. Canadians resent the USA arrogantly naming itself after their shared continent, but not as much as they resent being mistaken for Americans by people who can't tell their accents apart and confuse them with people who serve cheese out of a spray can.
I don't want to hear it, Canada. I don't want to hear it.
Third, British people. Couldn't they just keep calling it British America? It had such a nice ring to it.
Why would we have succeeded then?
If you're British.
Fourth, Chris Columbus. If the Americans do insist on naming their continent after a European explorer, Columbus, lest we forget, was actually there before Amerigo Vespucci. As it is, Columbus had to settle for the US capital, a province of Canada, another country, countless other
Yeah.
towns and cities and a national holiday.
which has now been the 11th of October. I think has been I think Columbus Day and it's Indigenous Peoples Day at the same time, or it might have just be Indigenous Peoples Day. I can't remember. But yeah, a territory in Canada, a suffix of our capital, several important cities in the United States, as well as an entire sovereign nation in South America.
Poor guy.
And lastly, Amerigo Vespucci himself, who died never knowing these new lands were to bear his name in so...
Oh my god, this is just like... Oh, I thought we have the Vietnam War. Americans craft singles are so gross.
many confusing and overlapping ways.
So, if the United States of Americans did want to change their name, what on earth could they change it to? Any attempt at a rebrand would come with
North Mexico? Hot Canada.
its own controversy, and of course it's hard to imagine patriotic Americans ever actually voting to be called anything else.
Even though it appears that the US Library of Congress spent $10 million on a map that suggests its country gave itself the wrong name, it looks like the USA of America will go on calling itself America for many years to come.
They'll never change.
Classic America.
Thank you guys so much for watching. If you want to stick around for the advert, please do. I'm sure it's going to be funny. You know, this is an interesting video just because, you know, the first off, that map is really cool. Didn't know about that $10 million thing. You know, like I said before, the United States was the United States prior to the Civil War. After the Civil War, we kind of united to the United States of America, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, you got to set the precedent. Like, for example, if I start a company and I call it, I don't know, the Milk Company, and I sell milk, and then I go on for 40 years and I'm a small company, local, I don't file a trademark, I don't do all that stuff, and then a company comes along, has some funding, investments, and it's called the Milk Company. Who's going to be the Milk Company? It's going to be the one that's more prominent. So this is the case here. The jurisdiction of a name doesn't exist. We see that pretty much everywhere when it comes to people in the same town, the same road names, etc. But I know a country's different, but no one was America before America. And that's what I'll say. Let's see if this ad's funny.
Oh, hi. I didn't notice you there. You just caught me buying some electrical tape online. That's right. You can even use the internet to do your shopping these days. And if you're anything like me, you'll hate to pay full price, which is why I love to use discount vouchers.
Discount vouchers?
Like funny?
Discount vouchers, to give you money off your shopping.
Money off your shopping?
But who has the time to root around the World Wide Web for these hidden codes in the 21st year of the 21st century? Certainly not me.
Certainly not you.
Shut up. But now you don't have to, thanks to Honey.
Honey,
I know it.
the browser extension.
Yes, but I'm going to say it. Honey,
The browser extension.
just let me say it. Honey, the browser extension. All you have to do
All
is...
you have to do is go to joinhoney.com/mapmen to add Honey to whatever browser you're using in just 2 easy clicks. And the next time you're shopping on any of its more
Already
than
got it.
30,000 supported sites, simply click Apply Coupons and get money off. It really is that simple, and you can do it right now for absolutely free.
It's simple. If you have a computer, there's no reason it shouldn't have honey on it. And I don't mean runny honey. Computers hate that.
All right, W video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like I said, if you're new here, hit that subscribe button. Recommend a video if you got one. I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.